people who, Solomon Morel, who an existential crisis for the allied union between Israel and America. If America started waking up and going, wait a second, why would you guys be protecting people who, Solomon Morel, who executed these crimes against Germans, and you refused to extradite him when they actually wanted to prosecute him?
Yeah.
So Candace Owen is really worried about Israel. She thinks, is the big problem. The fact that a father of 7 children kills 7 African American children in a quiet neighborhood, Cedar Groves, Louisiana. This man was in the National Guard, and he killed his own children and their cousin, altogether 8 children. That doesn't concern Candace Owen. And she doesn't think, oh, is there a connection to the fact that the lieutenant governor, the former lieutenant governor of Virginia, shoots his wife and himself in a house where there's teenager children? That doesn't concern Candace Owen. She never thinks that she has to deal with domestic crimes of African Americans that are on the rise. 30% of the crimes in that area were domestic violence. That doesn't worry her. She's so worried about the Jews. She's so worried about, I'm not saying we don't have domestic violence, because we do. Every community in the world has it. But wouldn't you be a little bit concerned when you see so many African American homes not being able to maintain a family, to stay in a marriage? So many African American children growing without a father. But Candace Owen is focused on blaming the Jew. Because if you blame the Jews, you don't have to deal with your own problems. She, by the way, married a white British man. So she's not concerned with the problems of Britain either. She's concerned with the problem of Israel. Israel is the big problem in her eyes. Now, just to balance this, we have a channel of a man called Nissim Black, who is completely disgusted with her, as a lot of African Americans are disgusted by this woman. She doesn't think she has to solve the problem of the African American trauma, which is a real trauma. The African Americans underwent a horrible trauma. They were enslaved. And by the way, not by the Jews. There were Arabs who were slave merchants. And they were the ones who came to Africa and forced African people to convert to Islam. And the reason why North African countries like Morocco and Algeria are Muslim is because of the invasion of the Arabs into Africa, and everywhere they went, they forced people to convert or be killed. They forced women to marriage when they're minors. That doesn't concern Candace Owen. The Jews are the problem. Israel is the problem. The problem is not a man who shoots 7 of his children, 7 from ages 3 to 11. Candace Owen isn't going to be talking about that. She's not going to talk about the big family crisis of African Americans. She's not going to be talking about the big crisis of domestic violence that occurs when people separate and the man decides to kill the mother of their children and themselves sometimes. Just like what happened to the lieutenant governor of Virginia and what happened to this man who was in the National Guard.